Hello friends! I have another H5N1 update for 2025, and as a San Franciscan I can just say, well, fuck me. But let's go! So last week, San Francisco and the CDC announced that there was a suspected case of H5N1 in a child without any known exposure in San Francisco. And this week the lab came back and confirmed it. That makes a total of 67 confirmed cases, as well as an additional 15 unable to definitively confirm, but suspected cases, the vast majority of which have been since October. But of course, don't worry, because the SF Department of Public Health has totally been on this and has found no known source of contact. But then had to add the obligatory, of course, the risk to the general public is low. But of course. This now makes the fourth case, including 3 among children and 2 in the Bay Area, where there is no known source of contacts. These kids are not farm workers. The other adult who was infected was not the spouse of a farm worker. They're not children of farm workers. They don't live near dairy. Yet somehow, magically, they are getting H5N1. And we don't know why. The only reason that this child was tested was because, in addition to flu-like symptoms, they had severe conjunctivitis, which triggered a follow-up test to their flu test. That kind of automatic retesting is only happening because the Bay Area is close to the Central Valley, which has a massive outbreak amongst farm animals. So what that absolutely does mean is at least some of this H5 in the wastewater in the Bay Area is in fact from humans. At least one of them. But let's be real, it's probably not one of them. And given how high circulating flu A is in the same area, the risk of a recombination event is much higher. But I agree with this. This is very much giving me early 2020. Even though you have all the same symptoms, you didn't just travel from China, so it can't possibly be COVID. 4 cases in tell us that it's somewhere else in the community because they do not have direct exposure to bird or farm animals. And yet, we need to be seriously ramping up testing, including subtype testing, to really understand the breadth and depth of what's going on. We've also found it in multiple bottlenose dolphins in Florida, in non-commercial flocks in Kansas and Colorado, as well as domestic cats in Colorado, and non-commercial flocks in Washington, including starlings and sparrows and pigeons. Which is why, again, I say, if you are still putting out feed for your wild birds, if you still have bird baths out, now might be the time to take them down. Or at the very minimum, practice biosecurity when you are cleaning and maintaining them. Because wild birds are definitely getting infected, which means they can definitely infect you. So discouraging congregation amongst wild bird populations is the best thing that we can do to help protect them from this, because it is highly contagious, especially between birds. Michigan has experienced its first reinfection because their herds had fully cleared all tested infection, and they were bulk testing in October. They joined the hundreds of herds that have tested positive in California and almost 1,000 herds in 16 states nationwide. Though we know that is an undercount because the nationwide bulk testing of milk is still rolling out, and you can't find what you don't test. Almost 600 of those California herds are still in quarantine, and on average they're taking almost 3 months to clear the virus, with larger herds taking longer. California vets have already put out a report confirming what we already knew. 10 to 15% of the cows died directly. Many of the pregnant cows have spontaneous abortions. 30% show some sign of illness. Many lose 6 to 8 pounds of production of milk per day. Test results are coming back too slow, and even non-lactating cows are getting sick, which to me says it is absolutely in our beef supply as well. Not just because non-recovering cows are sent there to slaughter, but because they can get sick just as much as the lactating cows can. But we're not testing them. My last update I'm including with a significant grain of salt, because this is a single source reporting this out. But given how notoriously secretive China is about reporting out illnesses like this, we may not know more until it's a lot worse. But one source has reported that their source from the Chinese Disease Monitoring Center is saying that there are 100 confirmed cases of H5N1 in China. The article says it's likely contributing to this exponential growth of respiratory illness in China, and that they are preparing isolation wards. We do know that Shanghai has banned poultry trading within the country, which is at least a sign that they are also experiencing some version of H5N1 in their poultry. But I would like to see more data before I can definitively say that this is having human-to-human infections or even poultry-to-human infections in China. But if it is, given the amount of flu A that is circulating there, we would be in big trouble. So the long and the short of it is we are tripping our way into pandemic number 2 on top of pandemic number 1. It's gonna go great. They're gonna ban this app, which is where we can share this information. I don't know where I'll be after this. I am on Instagram. I'll probably spend more time on YouTube. Beyond that, I don't know. I'll keep trying to get out the word anywhere I can. But remember folks, mask up, get your flu shot to help diminish circulating flu A, and stay vigilant.